Today is day 243 of Blender, and today I'm going to make another 3D text with Blender. And I'm going to use the Peoplebook font by Regular Studio on font.com. So I downloaded that. Now I'm going to open up a Blender file, and I'm going to click on General. And then at the top, I'm going to go to Geometry Nodes. I'm going to hide the spreadsheet by dragging it to the left. I'm going to click on New to add a new geometry node system, and then disconnect the input from the output because we're not really using the cube. The input is the cube, but we're not using that. What we're using is a string to curve node. So I'm going to do Shift A and then add a string to curves node and connect that to the output so I'm able to see it in the viewport, which is at the top here. But the reason I don't see it yet is because I have nothing set as my string. So I think I'm going to go with something like book fair, and now I'm able to see it in the viewport. Now, first things first, I like to do Shift A and get a transform node so that I can rotate the text 90 degrees along the x-axis. So basically it's saying, hey, rotate 90 degrees along the red line, which is the x-axis. Then I like to add some faces. So I'll do Shift A, get a fill curve node, and put that in here. Now I like to change the fill type to n-gons rather than triangles because if I go to wireframe mode at the top, if I'm in triangles, the vertices look really messy. N-gons fixes that. So back into solid view mode, I like to give the letters some thickness because right now they're flat. So I'll do Shift A and get an extrude mesh node and put that right in between here. Change the offset value to 0.1. So now there's some thickness. But if I look in the back, they're hollow inside, meaning they're not filled. So to fix that, I'll do Shift A and get a join geometry node. And that's going to join the extrude mesh node and the fill curve node once I connect it. Now it's joining both effects, which is really nice. Now the fun part is adding the font. So I'm going to go back to the first node I put in, and I'm going to go to the F folder, and I'm going to find the font that I used, which should be somewhere here. Open the font, and this is what it looks like. Although maybe it's not the best to do 3D. Maybe it's better to do 2D. Yeah, maybe it's, I don't know. I could increase the scale for the extrusion, but it's not gonna look good at all. And this is more like a 2D font because it's very sketchy. But either way, it's okay. So yeah, it's kind of what it looks like. I'm going to do Shift A and get a set material node and put that in here so I could actually get the material. Although I think I'm going to leave it white. Either way, I'm going to select the material and then the best look at the material, I'm going to go to layout at the top and I'm going to add a backdrop. So I'll do Shift A, mesh plane, and then S to scale the plane, and then 4 to scale 4 meters, and then G to grab it, and then X to grab along the X axis, which is the red line. Then I'm going to go into edit mode, edge select at the top, select the back edge, and then press E to extrude the edge, and then Z at the same time to extrude along the Z axis, which is the blue line. And then I'll go back into object mode by pressing tab and then go to the modifiers, which is a wrench icon, add a bevel, increase the amount, increase the segments, and then right click shade smooth to get rid of those lines that were there. Then I'm going to go to the arrow and apply it, and then do S and then X to scale along the X axis. I might just shrink this a bit, or maybe not, it depends. Let me just see, bring this down by pressing GZ. All right, and then I would go to material preview so that when I give it a material, I'm able to see it. I'm going to go to material properties at the bottom, which is the dartboard icon. Click on new to add a new material. Go to base color, maybe change it to something like this. So it looks kind of like chalkboardish. And then I'll take the light and I'll do G and Y to grab along the Y axis. Go to render preview so I can see what the final result is going to look like. I might just do GZ to bring it down a bit. Something like that. And then I'll press the button under the escape key and hover over front, and then I'll do Control Alt Numpad 0 to align my camera to the view. If you don't have a numpad, you can go to Edit Preferences Input and you can emulate the numpad, and that would just emulate your numpad using the numbers that you have on your keyboard. But I do have a numpad, so I'll just do Control Alt Numpad 0. and this is what you get. So to get out of this view, you press the middle mouse button. To go back into the view, you press on numpad 0. Now I would want it to be a little bit better. So what I'll do is I'll just bring the backdrop down, and I'll do GZ to bring it down, and then do that again, Control Alt numpad 0. Do something like that. Numpad 0 to see my view, maybe move it a little bit to, actually I think that's fine. Only thing is I don't really want there to be lighting in the back, so let me try something. If I go to shading and I click on the backdrop and I just remove the principled BSDF, it'll turn to be pure black, and let me see if that makes things better. Maybe. I don't really know. I think I'll leave it like that. And yeah, that's literally it. I mean, you can go render at the top, render image, and then you should get your render. And this is the final result. So you can go to image, save as, and then save as whatever you want to save it as. All right, that's it for today. Bye.